Welcome to the English Matura with JB Vodcast. Today, we're diving into a date you probably recognize, March 8th, International Women's Day. It's a day celebrated all over the globe, but as you're about to see, its real story is packed with some pretty surprising and even controversial twists.
I mean, what if I told you that the history of this day involves protests that literally toppled empires, massive strikes for workers' rights, and a completely fabricated event that was taught as fact for decades? Yeah, the real story is so much more complex and fascinating than most of us realize.
So to really get a handle on this day, let's start with how it's celebrated right now. Because depending on where you are in the world, the traditions are incredibly different. We're talking everything from quiet family get-togethers to massive public protests. And that variety is what's so cool. In Italy, for example, there's this beautiful tradition of giving yellow mimosa flowers. This actually started after World War II, and the reason is so thoughtful. They were affordable and easy for anyone to get, a true symbol of solidarity. Then you go to Eastern European countries like Romania, and it feels more like Mother's Day, with a big focus on family and gifts. And over in China, the government actually encourages employers to give women a half day off from work. But, for a lot of people, this isn't just about flowers or taking some time off. It's a call to action. In the UK, you'll find these amazing festivals with activists and performers talking about global issues. And in Australia, the focus is often on these big panel discussions about how to get more women into leadership roles in business and politics. And in some parts of the world, the day is marked by some really high-energy activism against very serious issues. Take Mexico, for instance. International Women's Day there is powerfully connected to protests against gender-based violence, especially something called femicide. Now, this term refers to the killing of women specifically because they are women, and it's a major, major focus of the protests there. The sheer scale of this activism can be just enormous. I mean, in 2018, over 5 million people in Spain took part in a general strike on International Women's Day. Just think about that for a second. 5 million people. And it's not just Spain. In Chile, you'll see protesters wearing green handkerchiefs to show support for reproductive rights. While in Pakistan, the Arat March is this huge, powerful demonstration for gender equality. And this is where it all clicks together. These modern protests are so deeply tied to the day's roots. Because at its heart, this whole movement didn't start with governments or official holidays. No, it started with working women in the United States who were demanding better, safer conditions. For instance, back in 1908, a massive crowd of 15,000 women marched through New York City. They were just fed up with the long, brutal hours in dangerous factories for terrible pay. And that single, powerful demonstration led the Socialist Party of America to declare the first National Women's Day the very next year. Okay, but this is where the story takes a really strange turn. For many, many years, the most common origin story that people told about International Women's Day, well, it was a complete lie. So, for decades, the story went something like this. The holiday began with a big strike by female textile workers in New York on March 8th, 1857. The problem? That strike never actually happened. It was a myth, completely invented by a French newspaper in 1955. You see, during all the political tension of the Cold War, they wanted to erase the holiday's American socialist roots and kind of reframe it as a purely communist working-class struggle. So, let's look at the real timeline. After that 1908 march in New York, a German socialist named Clara Zetkin suggested making it an international day in 1910. Her vision was pretty radical. She didn't just want the right to vote, but also legal protections, support for mothers, and free education. The idea really took off, but the date wasn't set in stone just yet. The date, March 8th, was cemented in history by a huge event in Russia in 1917. On that day, women textile workers in Petrograd went on strike, demanding bread and peace during World War I. Their protest grew so big, so fast, that it sparked the Russian Revolution, which led directly to the Tsar stepping down. It was a women's strike that literally helped topple an empire. So, from these truly revolutionary beginnings, the day started to evolve. Its focus has shifted over the decades, and it's been adapted by new generations of activists who are carrying that torch forward to face new challenges. So what started as a fight for basic rights like voting and safer workplaces was later picked up by feminists in the 1960s and 70s to demand things like equal pay and reproductive rights. Then, in 1975, the United Nations officially recognized the day, which really brought it into the global mainstream.
And today, it's this mix of all of these things. You have official UN themes, you have corporate messages, and you still have that powerful grassroots activism. So when you understand this full history, from the fabricated stories to the very real revolutions, it gives the days so much more weight, doesn't it? It's really a testament to the power of collective action. Which kind of leaves us with a final question. When you think about March 8th, do you see it as a day of celebration, or is it a call to action?